Hey guys, welcome back to Fable Stand. This is Kim, and I'm back with another deck collection video. Yet another deck collection for your mental health. Decks that are just so healing and so therapeutic and so nurturing to the soul. Just gentle hug decks for your down days. And by down days, I mean like these other decks that I'm using right now, the resources that I'm really tapping into right now, because I did not think there would be a bottom below my rock bottom, but there is a bottom underneath my rock bottom. And now I'm crawling my way out of there with lots of self-care and resilience and strength and journaling and therapy and all that. But I'm doing okay. And these decks are amazing resources. So if you're like feeling down, if you're feeling just truly in the dark mood, you know, when you're truly just feeling some of the darker emotions that are a little scary to mention, if you're feeling a lot of rage, despair, just numbness, emptiness, void. I don't know if you ever experienced the feeling of like existential void, but it's a dark place to be. And I hope by sharing these decks with you, you would find some comfort and you will have at least one thing to be by your side other than your amazing, resilient, strong, and powerful, just freaking awesome self. You know, just having like an extra tool to help you get through some of the darker moments, because these decks have helped me get through some of my darker moments that I've experienced in the span of 2 to 3 weeks just lately. So yeah, without further ado, the first deck, I shared this deck already. This was in my other mental health decks collection, but Aligned Heart Affirmations. I created this deck and I wrote all the affirmations during my dark night of the soul. Now that I'm in an even darker night of the soul, this deck that I created during my dark night of the soul is keeping that light lit in this particular darker night of the soul. And I just cannot stress how important this deck is for me. I literally created it for myself. This was the light that I found within to save myself from the darkness that I was feeling that I was in. And now that I'm in another one, literally drawing a card every single day just from this deck, it's just keeping me sane. It's literally keeping me sane. And this is like out of stock right now, and a lot of people have been asking me like, when is it gonna come back? I've heard so many good things about it, and I am bringing it back. I'm going to change the graphic design so it's not just white text anymore. I know it's barely visible on the camera and I'm really sorry about that. I really just wanted white text on this still, but it's gonna be black font. I'm considering dark purple as well, but basically it'll just be like a dark font and you will be able to read it and see it on camera or just like when it's in front of you. But yeah, that's my first deck, and that I want to include in this list because it's literally like, I know I made it myself, but it's just also like, because I made it for myself, like this is literally like everything. It's everything. And I hope like if you have this deck, I hope it's also doing the same magic for you as it is doing for me, because this is literally just when everything feels dim and hopeless. This is the deck that I cling to. I'm just like, wow, if I could find this much love within myself during my darkest moments, I got it. I got this. So my own deck, Aligned Heart Affirmations deck. That is the first choice. The second choice, the second deck, that is just a ray of sunshine in my life and to my brain, is I'm Here, a 50 card deck and guidebook by Murphy Pines. And I actually just got this recently, which is crazy divine timing because I literally need it like right now. And I backed this so long ago on Kickstarter, I completely forgot because the shipping was taking a little long. I remember feeling a little frustrated because it was just dragging on and on. I understand the creator was having issues. I wasn't really sure. I stopped reading their updates. There was just like a lot of complaints around the project. And I feel really bad because I know sometimes like when you're really stressed in your mental health and you're trying to go through production, it's really a lot. But anyway, like whatever that journey was like, I'm glad the creator figured everything out. I think they included like an extra deck as an apology, because I heard like there were like some other people who backed the campaign and then they also received like an extra copy, and I was like, Wow, that's really generous because they didn't really have to do that. I would have been happy if I just received the deck. So this deck, the color palette is so soothing. Everything is like just really gentle pastels, and I find that about like a week and a half ago I found my mental health to be kind of like in a precarious place. I was feeling very fragile, very emotional, volatile, very just teetering. I was teetering, man. And this, just looking at the colors of this deck, just brought so much comfort and peace and serenity to my brain. I was gonna say to my heart, but this is literally healing balm to my brain. Like if you're like feeling really stressed out and if you're just needing, I don't know, like a light breeze in your brain, like just to kind of loosen up all the knots in there, this deck is perfect because it's just so soft, so gentle. It's just like you know, like that feeling of running your fingers gently through your hair. That's what it does to my brain. Like literally just looking at it brings me so much. It's like a deep breath. It's like it just brings a lot of lightness to a heavy emotion or a heavy situation, or just like really loosens up my mental energy. And I haven't actually worked with this deck long enough to really kind of just give you something about the themes, but I just really love all those bright lines. I just love white against pastels, you know? Just such a pretty deck. And then look at the back, it's like rainbows and clouds, you know, representing the mental clarity that it gives you. And I just really enjoy looking at this deck, even though I haven't like gone through all the prompts yet. I haven't done enough like readings with it to kind of give you an in-depth review, but I can just tell you right off the bat, just the colors and just the illustrations and just some of the words in there, the phrases just give me a lot of mental safety. And I think that's something that not every deck is capable of doing, and this deck definitely does it, at least for me. And if you're really into pastels and the energy that those kinds of colors can give out, you really need that gentle vibration for your brain. If you're teetering a little bit like me, if you know what I mean, definitely get this deck because I think it's worth it. Okay, so speaking of soothing colors, I want to introduce to you the Healing Mantra deck. And I forgot why I got this deck. I think it must be because all the line work and the sacred geometry type of stuff, and just also the pastel galaxy colors in the background and all that watercolor. I might have gotten it as like research for Spread Crafter's Oracle because I was kind of looking into different decks that have different designs with like a galaxy sort of palette. So I might have gotten it for market research, but I'm really glad I did. This is published by Hay House. It's done by Matt Kahn. Artwork by Joe Klima. I hope I'm not mispronouncing their names, but I think she also did this other Inner Star Oracle that I may or may not have. I think I had it, but I might have sold it. I don't remember. But I love this deck because this is also one of those decks that's really good when you're spiraling, because it kind of has like a guidebook, which is great. It doesn't have any complicated instructions or a lot of text, so it gives you like kind of like the thing that you need to heal from. For example, healing heartbreak. And then on the back, it gives you like an affirmation, a grounding, centering statement. And it's like strange. It's like these words are familiar. It's not like you read it and it's like really complicated. It's not like overly sort of intellectualized, or it's not like laden with metaphors, as I sometimes like to do because I'm a storyteller and I like to use figurative language. So it's just like very simple, straightforward, but it's also like not conventional, like really boring language. To me, it seems like it's almost like a very poignant, concise one-liner that's very relaxing to feel when it enters your brain, and it really just somehow interrupts the inner chaos and just kind of brings this centering and grounding feeling. Like it really just interrupts that chaotic sense of reality and just sort of brings you to the message that is on the card. And I just find it it's like very subtle. It's like powerful but subtle. It's like when you read it and when you interact with the colors and the symbolism on it, like the art, like the little icons that's like illustrated on it, you just feel like there's just like a subtle shift in your brain, just enough to snap you out of that chaotic state, spiraling state, mental health crisis, what have you. And then just it's like, allows you to take a breath, like a mental breather. So I would say this deck is really good as a gentle interrupter. Like, I think just like universe has your back. It's one of those decks that can really interrupt your spiraling and just really brings you to the present and brings you to the now, brings you to your body, and just really helps you ground and center. So I find this deck is really good for that. And plus, I just really adore the colors. You know, it's like all my favorite color palettes. It's like in the green and the blues and the purple palettes, and also some pinks against, like, you know, with like white text. So it's kind of like my cup of tea. I don't know if you like that kind of thing. But if you really just enjoy the artwork for the sake of the artwork and just soothing to look at, you can also just get it for the art. Because, you know, colors have vibrations too, designs have vibrations. Sometimes it's not even just the deck, it's just the art, you know. Sometimes it's just like really soothing to look at. So yeah, that's my third recommendation. Speaking of healing decks, I literally just got this deck like today from the mail. It's the Healing Heart Oracle, and this is typically not the color palette I would go with because it's really earthy and gold. I usually like pastel colors, you know, colors that are like in the sky, like blue, purple, green, that kind of thing. I just started working with this deck, and I just love the idea of this deck, how every single card has a corresponding entry in the guidebook that is a love letter addressed to your heart. And every single position is kind of like talking to an aspect of your heart. And the colors are darker, more saturated. It has this sort of dreamlike, fantastical vibe. I think it's sort of photo manipulation. It's like made from a real photo, but then you sort of manipulate it to look like a fantastical painting or something like that. And every single card is an aspect of your heart. For example, recovering heart, giving heart, longing heart. And it has like a little phrase that tells you like what you need to release or something you can do to kind of just heal that part of your heart. If you're like heartbroken, like me, heartbroken as in like you just endured so much, I don't know, like I've never been sort of heartbroken in a relationship where I was rejected or someone cheated on me or, you know, like the conventional, I don't know if this is conventional heartbreak. All heartbreaks are terrible. And I just mean like what I'm personally going through is realizing, waking up to the suffering that you actually endured because you were too busy trying to cope and you were just stuck in survival mode. You couldn't recognize the toxic behaviors and the mistreatment that was done to you because you were constantly gaslighted and guilt-tripped and blamed for whatever it is that they're trying to blame you with. And then all of a sudden this whole thing is over and you wake up to the reality and you realize you were just in this grand illusion of believing this person was actually healthy for you. And then you just start to feel all that repressed anger, darkness, pain, grief, hatred, and just all those dark energies in you. You're like, wow, all this time I pushed it down because I couldn't feel it because I was surviving. And now I'm trying to heal what's in my heart. This deck is just timely. I think pulling a card perhaps every single day or every other day is going to just help me tune into the different parts of my heart that I could maybe just connect deeper with and just bring more attention and loving focus to it. And just, you know, it's like, this is my heart. And here are all the rotten parts. And drawing a card from this deck is going to just kind of shine a light on like a tiny part of it, and I can just kind of focus on it, heal it, and just give it some love and attention and some massages. And that's how I plan to work with the deck anyway. And I just want to include it in this lineup because I just really love how it's set up and that every single entry for the card is like a love letter, literally addressed to your heart, followed by some kind of exercise and ritual for you to bring more healing to that part of your heart. Okay, last but not least, this is also a highly healing centric deck, and it is an angel deck. It's the Angelic Lightwork Oracle by Alana Fairchild. I love her. I have so many of her decks, like the Kuan Yin Oracle, the Journey of Love. I almost included Journey of Love in this lineup, but I decided to do this one instead. I also have her book called Angelic Lightwork, which is kind of like related. And I love this deck. First of all, like the cards just look like cosmic signatures. They just look like angelic frequency grams or something. It's like you look at it, you feel like you're getting tuned, like your energy is just getting tuned by all the images and the way it's like constructed. It looks like, you know, very celestials, a lot of like colors from the universe, like blue, purple, you know, my favorite color palette. Just looking at it makes me feel connected to the universe and the angels. And all the cards in here are very like heart chakra-y. It's like very like, if you're talking about chakras, it's definitely very sort of connected to the heart chakra, and I feel like your crown chakra. It feels very angelic, I guess. And it's just so, it's so much gentle yet powerful, potent healing in this deck. I drew a card from this deck like yesterday, and it was something, I forgot, I put it like by my bedside. It's literally like right there, and it's about healing the heart again, which is what I'm going through. And just reading it out loud, if you're really connected with like spoken word and speaking your power and dictating, you will really enjoy this deck, because the precious part is really the guidebook. You would draw the card and the artwork is amazing, and then individual card titles are amazing, but the guidebook is where the juice is at, because you get like this sort of little blurb about what the card is about, and then you get these pages of just like angelic lightwork ritual, prayers and affirmations you can say to invoke a certain angel, and energies you can bring down, visualizations and exercises you can do to really channel that angel and bring that particular form of healing or whatever it is into your presence, into your existence, into your energy field. And it's just so amazing. Like, with that card by my bedside right now, that I'll just get because I should just show you. And it says special healing for the open-hearted. And it's talking about healing for someone who's like empathic and tends to take on people's emotions and stuff, which is accurate, very accurate for me. And it just like walks you through this whole ritual of evoking Archangel Raphael, which is like the angel of healing. And I just instantly feel so connected to Archangel Raphael, and I feel like I went to sleep with the energy of Archangel Raphael, and I just felt surrounded by love and tranquility and healing. I know when I read about those experiences in the books, I almost always like expect some kind of complete bliss, like it's a total experience. But actually, I did experience that, but I also had like anxieties and a lot of like stray thoughts and some insomnia, but it was just like this sort of undercurrent of gratitude and just feeling that connection. So it's kind of like, if you're looking for magical experiences or connections with angels or whatever, like I think maybe a lot of us would sort of expect like, oh, light comes down and then you just feel enveloped. It's just like the way it's described. Usually it's kind of like this total experience, but it's like you do experience that, but it's not like you're like just blissed out. You know, it's not like that. It's more like you still have like your regular trains of thoughts passing through your brain and you're still thinking about random shit, but you just have this kind of like subtle connection that you just feel like there is like, you can feel the angelic presence, and it's like it surrounds you in a total way, because you kind of just have to trust that it's there, but it's not like you're just blissed out and you're like zoned out like you're high on angel drugs or something. I'm sure there's also experiences like that. I haven't personally experienced it, but for me it's always like this subtle, this undercurrent of grace that's just running through my system, and you just feel like universe has your back even when you're feeling anxious. Like, it doesn't really remove the fears and the anxieties that you have. It doesn't rescue you from your darkness, but I think it makes you feel like you're not alone. It makes you feel connected to the divine. It makes you feel like you just got that extra angelic presence in your corner, and it's just amazing to experience. So if you're into angels and light work and angelic light work and prayers and affirmations and speaking power into existence through prayer, get this deck. You will not regret it. Highly recommend. Alright, so those are my my new picks. 5 oracle decks that I use for my mental health, to regulate my nervous system, and to just heal and bring more healing and nurture and love and compassion and acceptance into my life and to myself. And if you're going through something dark, maybe this is like a collective thing, because sometimes I would share about my insights about going through something dark like right now, and then a lot of you will say, I'm literally going through the same thing. I'm having like these really tough breakthroughs. I know it's hard, but I know they are supposed to happen, etc. So if you're going through something like that and you're watching this video, I hope if you have one or multiple of these decks, I hope they will help you And this is not like a video to pressure you into buying any of them, but just like if you want some extra resource and you have some money to spend, these are the decks I would recommend. Yeah, if you're going through something tough, just know that you're not alone and everything's gonna be okay. And it's okay to not be okay, because we're gonna figure it out. Right. Sometimes that's the best we can do. We're gonna figure it out. Like sometimes, like when I feel despair, when I feel hopeless, I don't try to make myself feel better. I don't tell myself everything's gonna work out, because at that time, sometimes I just don't know. But I tell myself I'm gonna figure it out, because I trust myself to do that. Even that moment is not now, but I'm gonna figure it out. We're gonna figure it out, and everything's gonna be okay, even when you don't feel okay. But we're gonna figure it out. We're gonna figure it out. Okay, we're going to figure everything out, and it's gonna get figured out. One step at a time and one day at a time. All right, until next time, peace.